Chapter 1. Matt Reed shifted in his seat and looked out the window. He was grateful that the plane was almost empty. It had been a long time since he had this much space to himself. The transport from Vietnam had been packed. The airport in New York, a nightmare of impatient bodies, and then he had shared his space on the 727 to Denver with two drunken college students with a penchant for dirty limericks. He liked the smallness of this little commuter plane, even though it seemed almost antique, slow and quiet. Unlike the Hueys he had flown in the jungle. Everything is relative, he thought. Matt Reed was going home. Chapter 5. Jake stood in the small cemetery, oblivious to the cold wind that rattled the dried leaves on the cottonwood trees. Ellie Reed, born 11/21/29, died 7/14/73. The tombstone seemed stark and unreal to him. Sure didn't say much about the woman she was, the girl with the laughter just bubbling out of her, who had turned into a woman with pain-filled eyes and a wasted body. I lost the ranch today, Ellie. Somehow he expected an answer. The silence was heavy and disapproving. I know you think I blame you, honey. I did for a while, but I was just trying to pass the buck. I was stupid, stubborn. You always knew that, didn't you? I guess I've always wondered, if you wish you had married Hank after all. You must have sometimes. I never knew how to say the right things to you. I never knew how to tell you that you were prettier than a newborn calf, sweeter than clover in the spring. Sometimes I wanted so bad to hold you close and tell you what you meant to me, but I never did. Not until it was too late. Jake could see her, her figure small, her movements fluid. She had squint lines around her eyes. She could never wear a hat in the sun, and she laughed a lot. Well, she had at first anyway. He remembered what she was like with Matt, the two of them with their identical gray eyes, bent over an anthill, fascinated by the purposeful movements of that well-ordered insect society. Ellie had loved everything about nature and never lost her sense of wonder. She seemed to have given the legacy to Matt. I've robbed our son, Ellie. I took the rockin' R as my right without thinking too much about what Pa went through to give it to me. I robbed you and Matt of my time in order to make it bigger and better because my sense of worth seemed to be all wrapped up in what the ranch was. I guess it did something to me. It made me think I was above other people or something. Too proud to ask for help. Now our boy is home from that hell over there, and I have nothing to give him. Oh, Ellie. Jake sobbed. Great, painful, racking sobs of a man who hadn't cried since he was 8 years old. When Jake recovered, he was on the ground, and the sun was setting behind the bighorns. He felt spent and drained. Jake shook his head. The pain wasn't going to go away. He had betrayed them all. Matt, Ellie, Pa, even Big Jack Reed. There would be no forgiveness, no redemption. Jake struggled to his feet and moved toward the pickup. He felt old and beaten. He opened the glove box. I'll be damned. The light still works, he muttered. I don't think I've ever replaced the bulb. He found an old feed bill, a stub of a pencil. His hand trembled as he wrote, Dear Matt. Oh, hell. As usual, he couldn't form the words that tumbled about in his head. He wadded the paper and threw it on the floor, loathing his cowardice. The bighorns were only dark silhouettes against the twilight sky. As he reached for the .22 Magnum, he noticed his hand was no longer shaking.